Time, we would like to pay tribute to the late Dr. Linda Gilbert, whom we lost in May of this year. The United Way of Rutherford and Cannon counties is naming a new award in her memory. She will be the first recipient of the Dr. Linda Gilbert Advocacy Award. Linda dedicated her life to advocating for children. As superintendent of Murfreesboro City Schools, Linda led a system that attained exemplary school district recognition from the state. Linda also created a respected model for serving the whole child by providing programs and services that supported each child's physical and emotional health and development. It is my honor to present Linda's family with the Dr. Linda Gilbert Advocacy Award.
Good morning, I'm Steve Gilbert. I'm Linda's husband.
And I'm Mackenzie Ross, and I'm her middle grandchild.
Linda loved the children. It was more than a commitment. I don't think, it was kind of like Linda never met a curb that she couldn't put her car over. I don't think she ever met a child that she didn't love. Kind of a case in point is one of the first things she thought about when this COVID-19 struck, that the child bus had to go on. And she wanted children, whether they were just in Murfreesboro City or what, and she reached out to community partners and really worked to keep that going. Also reached out to community partners for Bob the Book Bus, so kids could have the books. I think Linda worried everyone in town to help with the school system at every chance she could, because she was big on partnerships, and she was big on that. She believed that the child, to educate the child, is her terms with the whole child, and that meant, you know, if a child was hungry, they couldn't learn. If they had a social, emotional problem, they couldn't learn. If they had problems at home, they couldn't learn. So she did her best to try to find answers to that. Linda had this model she used to talk about a reverse triangle. And she really meant that the children, everything she did was geared for the children. And the children were on top. And everybody else just kind of stacked up down below. The teachers were second. And she placed herself at the bottom of that. She never sought anything for herself. It was always, how can we benefit the children? It has to be about the children, is what she would say. She devoted a lot of her money to the schools, too. You know, if the ticket to get in the basketball game was $5, Linda gave them $20. I mean, that was just the way she was. She bought just about all of the artwork that she could find that they were doing, and it lines the halls of the central office right now. One incident that really stands out in my mind about Linda and her devotion to these children, we were at a Christmas tree lighting on the square. The children were singing. She had to be there as close to the front as she could so she could see her kids. And there was a little fella standing in front of her, a little boy, cute as he could be. He was there with his parents, and evidently his sister was on the stage. And he kept turning around looking at Linda. So Linda engaged him. She engaged him in conversation like she would. You know, she said, I want to give you something. She reached in her purse and gave him her business card. Now, she did that every time she talked to a child. And she would write her cell phone number on the back of the card. And she'd say, now, if you have any questions, or if you just need to talk to me, then there's my number. And she told the parents, well, let him call if he wants to talk to me. You can call me anytime you want to. And she meant that because she kept her phone on and texted and talked at 2 in the morning. Linda loved everyone. She told you she loved you, she loved you. And she loved the children of Murfreesboro. And I think my granddaughter can tell you more about her now than I have.
A couple days after my grandmother died, I wrote something about her, and there's no other way that I can really describe her other than just reading that. If you knew my grandmother, you knew these 2 things about her. 1, she didn't like all the recognition that she got for the amazing work that she did. And 2, she deserved all the recognition that she got and more. When my grandmother first got the job as director of Murfreesboro City Schools, she had less time to be around us and go on trips with me, my siblings, and my granddaddy. I asked her one day, Grandmommy, please quit your job. She looked at me and said, I'm doing it for you. This is not the answer that I wanted to hear, but it made sense to me. I had thought that she answered this way because I was in elementary school and Murfreesboro City Schools at the time. I thought that what she meant by this was that she wanted to ensure that I had a good enough education through Murfreesboro City Schools. Though this was true, this isn't what she meant. Some time went by and I asked her again when I was in middle school. But this time I went to her crying and said, "Grandmommy, please quit your job so you can spend more time with us." She responded with the same answer, "I'm doing it for you." This upset me. I didn't understand what she could have meant by this because I was out of Murfreesboro City Schools and in middle school now. It wasn't until these past couple months that I understood what she meant. She was doing it for me all along. She did it to show me how to be a strong woman and leader. She did it to show my mom how to be a good educator and an even better mother to her 3 children. She did it to teach me and my siblings that everyone needs someone in their corner. She showed us to go after our passion and fight for what we believe in. She didn't work for herself, the money, or the acknowledgement. She did it to ensure that children were getting fed, had an education, and were loved. This is why she did what she did. She was doing it for me the whole time, and I'm just now fully understanding how. She did it to show everyone that one person can change the world, one child at a time. We want to thank United Way for carrying on my grandmother's legacy.